Trial attorneys, we're back here again, and we're back on the ASAP Rocky trial. They now close their arguments, and there's a contentious discussion happening
A
here.
brouhaha.
Yes, indeed. We're going to watch the video here and talk about it.
It's very clear that the tone that we get when we make an objection that should be sustained is, what are you doing? That's what was said. You specifically...
Lower your voice and don't yell at me. I told you before. I'll listen to what you say.
I've talked about it before. I think this judge is fantastic.
I agree.
I think he's very
Absolutely.
fair. I think he has a great demeanor. I think he keeps control of his courtroom.
And we've seen a lot of judges, and he's on the top.
Yeah.
He's on the top.
I agree. So he tells the prosecutor, don't raise your voice at me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, come on. It's a lot of things that's going wrong. I mean, they should show this in law school.
Right.
How to conduct yourself, how not to conduct yourself. One thing, if you're trying to get a judge to agree with your position, you don't yell at him.
That usually doesn't work.
I mean, he's human too.
Yeah.
People react. I mean, you could try your best to be neutral and detached from all this.
Right.
But yelling at me is disrespectful to me personally and to my position as a judge and to the decorum of the courtroom. And another thing that just drives me nuts is the prosecutor is sitting down.
Yeah.
I think maybe in the Midwest on the East Coast, I'm guessing, I don't know, I've never practiced in the West Coast. It seems like they're very relaxed. You should be standing up, which you're recognizing him, his authority as a judge, the respect of the decorum of the courtroom. You stand up, you state your position, you state it in a professional and mature adult way.
Yeah.
And you make your record.
Right.
Yelling, I don't know what he's trying to accomplish.
Well, to me, it seems like the prosecutor, I'm going to use the word whining. He's whining about the way the judge overruled an objection. He's complaining about the judge's tone. That's very unusual. He needs to, but what it really shows is that the prosecutor knows he's losing.
Exactly.
And now he's just panicking. He's trying to do whatever he can.
Hey, speak in a normal tone of voice.
Judge, we're doing the best we can to make sure that this trial is ethically conducted. They have repeated, I've objected, you told them it's improper. You overruled repeated objections where they are saying improper things. He just said a moment ago, this is a direct quote, the prosecution accepts their witness committing perjury. I object. You respond, that's appropriate comment on the evidence. It is not appropriate comment on the evidence, Your Honor. I don't know if you didn't hear it.
I didn't hear that.
So, Judge,
What I heard, I could have been wrong, what I heard was that Mr. Tacopina was describing Relly as committing perjury.
Judge, that's a direct quote. The direct quote was, the prosecution accepts their witness committing perjury. Here's another one. Relly committed extortion. There is no legal...
Do you think the jury's going to ask for what the legal description of extortion is?
Your Honor.
Forcing someone to pay money, that is, quote, extortion.
No, Your Honor.
Go on to something else.
Your Honor, I want to make my record. I mean, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I have a right to make my record.
Now you notice the judge, he changed his position in his
Lean
chair.
back.
He leaned back and
Lean
changed his
back.
because now he's getting upset. He told the prosecutor, "Come on, man," and this is why another reason I think this judge is great, because he's pragmatic, and he just said, "Come on, I know everyone's lawyers here. You want to pick at words, but do you really think the jury? Everyone knows what extortion is. Everyone knows what that term means. Do you think they're going to come back here and say, we want a legal definition for extortion?"
Jurors are not stupid.
No. And again, the prosecutor knows he's losing, so he's just trying to pick at everything.
Part of being an attorney is being able to read the room.
Yeah.
He's not reading the room. Dude, you're not going to win this particular argument. Move on.
Yep. And that is a skill that I think a lot of attorneys do not have.
Exactly.
You have to. The most important skill you have as an attorney is listening. So listen.
I was going to say something. I was going to get myself in trouble. A lot of people do.
Yeah, right. That's true. So you got to open your ears up and listen. He's not going to win.
Learn what's going on by listening. If you're not listening, you're talking. You're not receiving information.
Correct.
You see, he leaned back in his chair like that was to me like,
Yeah, exactly.
move on.
Yeah, but this prosecutor.
How many
just seeing
times we
red.
said, Judge, I'll move on. How
Right,
many
a lot.
times we said
Right,
that?
move on.
Move on.
You can't. You're not gonna win every little argument.
This argument is not going to win or lose the case.
Correct.
All that other evidence with the heard is going to make them make the decision, not this little, like you said, this whining and complaining.
No lawyer can get up here, no lawyer can get up here and tell the jury that a crime has been committed when there is no instruction on that crime. When in fact, Your Honor, that's not the legal definition of extortion. We've objected, and the court again is basically telling me, don't worry about it, it doesn't matter. Your Honor, it does matter. After a while, when there are so many of these things, they add up. And when the court is saying, well, what they don't care about it.
No, I didn't say they don't care
Well,
about it.
it seems, Your Honor, it's improper argument. And the problem is
I don't agree with you. I think using the word, quote, extortion to describe the conduct is not improper. I think it's fair comment on the evidence. You, in your rebuttal argument, you can say it wasn't extortion.
Your
You
Honor,
can address it.
Now, what did you like what just happened there?
Absolutely not. Come on.
What-
This is not. Be professional. You don't take your jacket off. It'll be a different situation, Judge. It's hot in here. May I have permission to take my jacket off? I mean, and then the whole thing with the face, kind of downplaying what the prosecution is saying. I mean, I disagree with the prosecution, but that doesn't mean that you have to not maintain professionalism. I think that's absolutely tacky. I think it's disrespectful to the decorum of the court. It's disrespectful to the prosecutor also. Like, you ain't saying nothing. Let me take my jacket off. And that he's doing that while this legal arguments are going on. I thought, he loses major cool points on that.
Well, for me, I'm kind of in between on this kind of topic because the prosecutor a long time ago he's making personal attacks on this attorney here, and when you start getting personal, when he starts saying that he was doing unethical things and sorts, once that happens, once you start talking personal, then yeah, I'm gonna get upset. I'm gonna get probably do things I probably wouldn't normally do because if we're talking about the case, fine. But when you start attacking me personally, yeah, I'm gonna get salty too, and I'm gonna get upset about that. But one thing I was about to say before he took his jacket off, that A$AP Rocky's attorney here, he did realize though that he's winning, and so it wasn't necessary for him to say anything. A lot of attorneys are very bad at that, and quite frankly, some clients are very bad at. They think attorney job we just blah 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 blah, and you think that's what. But when you're winning, shut up. And he did at least get that part.
Well, but that goes right to my point. If you're winning, you don't have to perform.
Yep.
You just sit up there. The guy's digging a hole for himself.
He is.
All this performance is not. And that's just sit there and look at him like, yeah, you knucklehead.
Right.
That's what I would do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But then you take away from that victory by doing this.
the bigger issue, as I said, is the court was repeatedly told them, do not connect the prosecution to committing crime.
I'll tell you what, I didn't hear that. I'm going to ask Kathy for the exact quote. If that's what was said, I'm going to sustain your objection, and I will apologize for overruling.
You told counsel before we started, do not disparage the other side. I said yesterday, you argue what you want about witnesses. You say a witness lied. You do not disparage counsel. You repeated it yesterday. He tried to explain how he didn't make mistakes yesterday, which he did. Now he gets up and he's now admitted, yes, I made that comment, here's why it's appropriate. Your Honor, it's not appropriate. It's completely unethical. It is immoral, and it's not professional. And again, Your Honor, the fact that he is getting up here saying, well, yeah, I said it, here's why, just demonstrates again, he doesn't know the law or doesn't care.
You're disparaging him right now.
I'm disparaging.
A couple things that happened there that were unusual.
Unethical.
Well, let's say unusual first. First, the judge actually apologized.
I almost had a stroke.
That's what I say. This judge is fantastic. He's a great human being.
He admits when he's wrong.
Yeah, admit when you're wrong.
A lot of judges
no.
can't do it, won't do it.
No, most human beings won't do it. So for him to say,
But
you know
we
what?
hold judges at a higher standard, though.
That's true, as we should. And then the next thing, so the prosecutor, he says either he doesn't know the law or he doesn't care. Oh,
Why? What's the purpose of that? Why say that?
it's getting very personal.
Even if you believed it, you believed it in your heart. Why are you saying that?
Shouldn't say it.
Then you open yourself. And we hold prosecutors at a high standard.
Correct.
You represent you don't represent yourself. You represent the people of that state.
Correct.
And they should demand professionalism.
Right, exactly.
And then why would you open yourself up to a ethics complaint?
Well,
Possible. I'm not
it's
saying
possible.
whether
It's
gonna
not gonna.
win.
It's not gonna happen.
No, what I'm
but-
saying, but someone may file a complaint against this prosecutor by the statements he made by someone else. I'm not saying whether the complaint he will win the complaint, but you don't want that complaint filed against you. Yeah. You know, I don't get it.
Well, they say you see a lot about a person's character when they're in these tough situations.
Is true?
I think the prosecutor realizes this case is televised. A lot of people are looking at it, and he's losing. So he's acting and just acting out almost like a toddler.
Lose with dignity. That's all I got to say.
He doesn't have much.
Because, Your Honor, he's not following the
There
rules
is not
of
to be
conduct.
any disparaging of either side.
During argument, the jury's not here. I have every right, obligation, and duty to stand up here and point out when he was being unethical. The first time the court catches me being unethical, Your Honor, the court knows that'd be the first time. Court knows I don't do that.
Oh,
Court knows. Court's already made those
I've heard enough from both of you.
I just want to put on the record that, these remarks about being unethical is not just about had it with him. This from a lawyer who, and I use the same essay on it, this from a lawyer who asked in front of a jury for a stipulation that a shooting range was not in California when either he knew it was in California or had no idea that it was in California. Okay? So he literally asked for a stipulation in front of a jury that he knew was not true or didn't know if it was true. And that's unethical. That's unethical. And this is a guy who, of the Ninth Circuit, just said lied to a jury in the Branford case.
Your Honor,
so
Your
I
Honor,
want to
Your
hear
Honor.
about him.
One more thing out of him, and we air everything that's happened in this case, which the court's aware of.
Stop.
He might want to stop.
I'm so threatened.
You should be, Joe.
Oh,
Let's take a break.
You should be.
don't tell the courts ever told me I was a liar.
So I mean, what just happened there? This prosecutor is off the rails. He's completely deteriorated. This case was too much for him. He's done.
It's over his head.
It's too much for him. He can't handle it. He can't handle it.
See, I'm a stickler for small things. Well, they're small, but the small things are big to me. You know, what are you accomplishing by yelling and screaming?
He's pacing back and forth. He's unhinged. He's unhinged.
You know, what is your purpose? What is the motive? You're not going to accomplish anything. And then you sit up and admit, I have the right to defame this guy.
He reminds me of a child. He's having a temper tantrum. He told the judge, you know me, I don't do anything. You've never seen me do anything unethical. Another weird thing to say to a judge.
Well, that doesn't mean you won't do anything unethical in the future.
First time for everything.
Exactly.
And then he started saying, oh, well, I'm gonna tell everything. I mean, what is this guy, this prosecutor, he's done.
And here's the thing. This is probably one of the greatest arguments for not having trials videotaped because people perform for the camera, and that's exactly what he's doing.
He's definitely cracked.
He's
under
almost
pressure.
trying to give an explanation for why he's going to lose this case.
Yeah.
It ain't because my case wasn't strong enough.
Right.
It's because the judge was being fair to me, and the defense counsel is unethical.
That's true, because from all intents and purposes, I think the prosecutor's going to lose this case, and he can tell it too. All right, so we watched this video here. We'll see what happens with the case. I'm predicting not guilty. All right, thank you.